Apakah Anda memiliki perusahaan dan ingin mengembangkannya? Perlu dana lebih untuk ekspansi? Ingin kepercayaan lebih dari kreditur dan bank? Perlu peningkatan image perusahaan? Perlu strategic partners? Menghadapi potensi sengketa dalam keluarga pemilik? Butuh penerapan good corporate governance yang lebih baik? Go Public adalah solusinya. Mengapa Go Public? Dengan Go Public, Anda akan menikmati manfaat seperti akses pendanaan yang luas dari pasar modal, peningkatan image perusahaan, likuiditas dan valuasi saham yang menguntungkan bagi founder, peningkatan profesionalisme perusahaan, pertumbuhan dan kelangsungan usaha, peningkatan loyalitas karyawan, serta insentif pajak.
Indonesia posted trade surplus of 1.57 billion US dollar in March 2021. Astra Agrolestari's net profit increased 294.6% year-on-year in 2020. Good afternoon, viewers. Market Headlines is ready to provide you a number of information from the business, economic, and capital market sectors. With me, Wicky Adrian. This is Market Headlines. Statistic Indonesia noted that Indonesia posted trade surplus of 1.57 billion US dollar in March 2021. Trade balance was positive due to export increase.
Statistic Indonesia recorded trade surplus of $1.57 billion. This agency stated that export rose by 34.37%, while imports rose by 25.75%. Head of Statistic Indonesia, Suharyanto, explained that the March trade balance figures were boosted by an increase in the number of commodities that made a good performance, ranging from palm oil exports to mining materials, while import performance also continued to improve, where this is seen also from PMI Indonesia is in the expansionary stage as 53.2.
Sehingga selama bulan Maret tahun 2021 ini neraca perdagangan Indonesia mengalami surplus 1,57 miliar US dollar. Surplus ini jauh lebih bagus dibandingkan surplus pada posisi bulan Maret tahun lalu maupun tahun 2019.
Based on country, Indonesia's trade balance is still experiencing a surplus, with America reaching $1.3 billion, Philippines reaching $592 million, followed by India. Meanwhile, foreign trade balance deficit occurred with Australia with $529 million US dollar, and South Korea and also Thailand. Jakarta, Rajo Pakmo for IDX Channel.
Jakarta-Bandung Fast Train construction project has cost overrun by 20%. For now, the developer is currently calculating the excess costs. President Director of Wijaya Karya, Agung Budi Waskito, stated that the cost overruns reached 20%. Initial project value was 6.071 billion US dollar. This condition also has an impact on the company. Agung Budi explained that Wika itself is one of the largest shareholders in Pilar Sinergi BUMN Indonesia, or PSBI, whereas PSBI is the holder of 60% of construction project, while Wika has 38% of the 60%.
Kita sedang melakukan negosiasi dengan pihak Cina agar porsi Indonesia ini bisa lebih kecil daripada 60%, sehingga secara keseluruhan nantinya cost of run yang terjadi ini sama sekali tidak akan berpengaruh terhadap apa yang sudah kita setorkan.
And now to the latest story about aviation industry. Minister of Transportation Budi Karya Sumadi demanded the aviation industry to open up some domestic routes that have been postponed during pandemic.
The Minister of Transportation expressed his support for Indonesian aviation industry after implementing strategy to survive the challenges of COVID-19 pandemic. The aviation industry is expected to start preparing various strategies, including optimal cooperations between operators. One of the way is by maximizing flight time slots and reactivating some domestic routes that have been postponed during pandemic. These efforts are certainly expected to improve the aviation industry.
Kerjasama operator penerbangan dapat dioptimalkan. Salah satunya maksimalkan slot time penerbangan serta mengaktifkan rute domestik yang tidak sempat beroperasi sementara, sehingga industri penerbangan semakin membaik.
The minister also emphasizes the importance of collaborations with global organizations such as International Air Transport Association and International Civil Aviation Organization. These collaborations is focused on health protocols to improve physical distancing, contactless service, up to medical examinations. Jakarta, Wicky Adrian for IDX Channel.
State official appointed to provide a check on complaints ombudsman is now highlighting Pertamina. The ombudsman demanded Pertamina to pay compensation fund due to Balongan refinery incident.
Member of the Indonesian Ombudsman, Heri Susanto, asked the regional government together with Pertamina to immediately carry out a verification process regarding the number of victims of illness, trauma, and material impacts, such as damage to houses and also other facilities. If the verification process is too long and the compensation has to wait for the results from the independent team and national police, which is going to be at least 3 months, it will increasingly affect the psychological conditions of the victims.
Belum selesai. Dan saya kira kalau bisa proses verifikasi ini ya lebih hebat lagi kalau secepat ledakan gitu loh. Ledakan kemarin nggak lama bisa cepat ya, walaupun sudah ada peringatan tapi tidak diindahkan. Ada proses waktu sampai luluh lantak bangunan kilangnya itu kalau nggak salah 4 hari. Nah, tapi proses verifikasi ini sudah berhari-hari. Dan sampai warga kemudian ya pada akhirnya memperbaiki bangunannya sendiri, itu karena tidak mungkin lah mereka menunggu terlalu lama.
From the results of the investigations conducted by Ombudsman since April 7th to April 9th, Harry said that his party found Pertamina ignoring protests from residents. In addition, if it takes too long to make compensations, Harry is worried that there will be third party that will try to complicate compensations obligations made by Pertamina on the affected residents. From Jakarta, Rahajo Pakmo for IDX Channel.
Market headlines will be right back after the break. Stay tuned.
Presiden Joko Widodo memiliki optimisme yang tinggi terkait dengan proses vaksinasi nasional yang sedang dilakukan saat ini. Bagaimana tanggapan dari pengusaha dengan angka ini?
Tentu membuat kita harus lebih berhati-hati.
Langkah apa yang tepat dilakukan untuk bisa meningkatkan pemahaman masyarakat?
Komunikasi publik adalah kunci. Jadi kita harus bisa menunjukkan kepada masyarakat bahwa vaksinasi itu penting.
Berkah kedamaian Ramadan dengan beragam program spesial IDX Channel. Arjuna hadir setiap hari jam 5:30 sore. Rahmatan lil alamin setiap hari menjelang azan maghrib. Urban Street Food hadir setiap hari jam 6 sore. Syariah Economic bersama Ustadz Hilman Fauzi setiap hari jam 8 malam. hanya di IDX Channel spesial Ramadan.
PT Garuda Indonesia Persero Tbk telah melakukan pemutusan kontrak penyewaan 12 pesawat bombardir CGR-1000.
Kita memutuskan untuk mengembalikan 12 pesawat bombardir CRJ-1000.
Pemerintah berencana memberikan insentif pajak penjualan atas barang mewah atau PPNBM untuk kendaraan bermotor.
Tujuan dari insentif ini adalah dalam rangka mendorong pemulihan ekonomi lebih cepat.
Welcome back. The Ministry of Energy and Mineral Resources officially raised the coal production target in 2021 by 75 million tons to 625 million tons from the initial target of 550 million tons.
The Ministry of Energy and Mineral Resources officially raised the coal production target in 2021 by 75 million tons to 625 million tons from the initial target of 550 million tons. This ministerial decree comes into force on the date of stipulation, namely 6 April 2021 by the Minister of Energy and Mineral Resources, Arifin Tasrif. The basis for the consideration of this decision, among others, is that the impact of the COVID-19 pandemic on the mining sector in 2020 has resulted in a decline in the economy of mining activities globally. So there is a need for government support through increasing the amount of coal production in 2021 for overseas sales. The additional coal production amounting to 75 million tons is stated for overseas sales and is not subject to a percentage of coal sales for domestic purposes or so-called domestic market obligation. Thus, the additional coal production target could be aimed entirely at overseas sales. IDX Channel team reported.
The increased coal production target by the government shows the abundant availability of coal in Indonesia. This can also be seen from the high level of coal production from year to year. How large has coal production been in recent years? Let's see the data in the first graphic. This is total Indonesian coal production in million tons. In 2021, it is projected to reach 550 million tons. In 2020, it was on the level of 558. 2019, 616 million tons. In 2018, 558 million tons. 2017 and 2016, 461 and 457 million, 56 to be exact, million tons. And with the additional production target in 2021 of 75 million tons, the Association of Indonesian Mining Experts, or PERHAPI, reminded that this increase should remain vigilant. PERHAPI General Chairperson Rizal Kasli assessed that the additional production of 75 million tons was actually intended to further accelerate the economic recovery with a growth target of 5 to 6% this year. However, he warned to be aware of the potential for oversupply as oversupply occurred in the fourth quarter of 2019 to the second quarter of 2020. As a result, the price of coal has dropped to its lowest point in the third quarter of 2020. Not only this oversupply issue, another problem in this sector is related to the development and utilization of coal itself. So what exactly are the coal development and utilization schemes? Let's see the information on the next graphic. This is coal development and utilization scheme. First one is coal gasification, and next one is coal melting, coal making, coal water mix, coal quality improvement, coal for steam power plant at the mouth of the mine, and coal briquette making. And the utilization of coal is still not optimized, where since 2016, the use of domestic coal is still on the range of 20 to 25%. However, the government is currently trying to increase the added value of coal through the downstream mechanism as an effort to maximize the potential of domestic coal sources, which are still abundant. one of which is through gasification. Various incentives are being spread to accelerate the increase in added value of coal, where the incentives on the upstream side are provided by the government. For example, by providing 0% royalties and special coal price formula for coal downstream projects. In the midstream, there are tax holidays, VAT exemption, while for downstream, the benchmark price for coal, the transfer of part of the LPG subsidy to DME. Then the most important thing in the certainty of taker. With the various incentives that have been provided, the government hopes that the coal downstream project does not stop halfway through. And if the utilization of coal is carried out optimally, of course, there will be a number of benefits that will be felt. So what are those? Let's see the next graphic. This is the benefits of developing and utilizing coal. The first one, increase added value and state revenue, increase the use of domestic coal, increase national energy security, and expanding employment. And not only the main part, even coal waste, or known as fly ash and bottom ash, has a large and strategic potential for utilization, one of which is for infrastructure needs. The Energy and Mineral Ministry mentioned that coal waste could be used as mixture for making concrete, where from this step, it is projected that budget savings for infrastructure development by 2028 could reach more than 4 trillion rupiah. Meantime, the utilization of coal can also be seen from the level of use of national energy needs. And let's take a look to the coal utilization data on the next graphic. This is the data for electricity needs and for non-electricity needs. And for electricity needs, the number keeps on increasing. From 2016, 75 million tons to 83 million tons in 2017, 91 million tons in 2018, and 99 and 105 million tons in 2019 and 2020. And for 2021, it is projected for the electricity used as much as 113 million tons. And for non-electricity, as you can see the data shown on your screen, the Ministry of Energy and Mineral Resources noted that the use of coal as fuel for power plants has increased rapidly in the last 5 to 6 years. Energy and Mineral Minister Arifin Tasrif revealed that the percentage of coal usage has increased from 30 to 14% in 2015 to 38.04%. And at the same time, the growth in natural gas use is decreasing. Meanwhile, the use of petroleum is shrinking because it is replaced by biofuel. And however, the minister said that the growth of new and renewable energy generators has also increased, and the gap between targets is getting smaller. And this is a positive impact of the rapid development of renewable sources, such as solar power plant and biofuels. And although Indonesia has abundant coal reserves, it is hoped that Indonesia will not only depend on this one mining commodity, especially as an energy source, because of course there are a number of impacts. Therefore, at the same time, efforts to develop new renewable energy sources must continue to be intensified. Stay tuned on Market Headlines because we'll be right back after the break.
Garuda Indonesia Persero Tbk telah melakukan pemutusan kontrak penyewaan 12 pesawat bombardir CGR-1000.
Kita memutuskan untuk mengembalikan 12 pesawat bombardir CRJ-1000.
Pemerintah berencana memberikan insentif pajak penjualan atas barang mewah atau PPNBM untuk kendaraan bermotor.
Tujuan dari insentif ini adalah dalam rangka mendorong pemulihan ekonomi lebih cepat.
We're on the last segment at the Jakarta Composite Index intraday movement. Earlier today, JCI was opened at the level of 6,057.61. Then approaching the closing time on the first session, the index was on the level of 6,037.73. Then the index was showing strengthening trend by the second session. Closing time index was closed at the level of 6,079.5. In short, JCI went up 0.48%. We're going to see the sectoral movement. We got agriculture as the leader of the strengthening trend that went up 2.19%. Trade went up 1.01%. Basic industry went up 1%. And manufacture went up 0.59%. Moving on to top gainers and top losers, here are the key highlights from today's trading session. Bank went up 5.83% to the level of 3,810 rupiah per share. TBIG went up 4.84% to the level of 2,600 rupiah per share. BBRI went up 1.38% to the level of 4,410 rupiah per share, and EMTK went up 7.14% to the level of 2,550 rupiah per share. Meantime, the top losers for today's trading, we got BBCA went down 0.4% to the level of 31,400 rupiah per share. ANTM went down 0.43% to the level of 2,320 rupiah per share. BBRI went down 0.4% to the level of 6,300 rupiah per share, and MDKA went down 0.9% to the level of 2,190 rupiah per share. And next, we are going to see the intraday movement of rupiah towards US dollar. Open at the level of 14,633. Rupiah was also showing weakening trend towards US dollar. It was close at the level of 14,601. In summary, rupiah went down 0.1%. Astra Agrolestari posted positive performance in 2020. It can be seen from the net profit, which increased 294.6% year-on-year to 833.1 billion rupiah.
Last year, the performance of Astra Agrolestari was quite brilliant and was reflected in the net profit, which increased significantly. Throughout 2020, the company recorded a net profit of 833.1 billion rupiah, increased by 294.6% on an annual basis compared to the previous year, amounting to 111.1 billion rupiah. According to the director of Astra Agrolestari, Mario Casimirus, the increase in the company's net profit was due to the increase in net income. The company managed to record revenue growth of 7.8% year-on-year from the revenues in the same period in 2019. The increase in the average selling price of crude palm oil, said Mario, is the main cause of company's net income growth in 2020. However, on the other hand, sales of CPO and its derivatives decreased by 13.6% to 2.03 million tons. Not only has recorded positive performance, Astra Agrolestari will consistently distribute dividends of 195 rupiah per share for the 2020 financial year. From Jakarta, IDX Channel team reported.
Waskita Karya will receive substantial funds from the divestment of its two toll roads, namely the Semarang-Batang and Cinere-Serpong toll roads, with a total transaction of 2.06 trillion rupiah.
Waskita Karya will receive substantial funds from the divestment of its two toll roads, namely the Semarang-Batang and Cinere-Serpong toll roads. Waskita divested two of its toll roads to Sarana Multi-Infrastructure with two transactions, namely share swap and cash. Share conversion was carried out at 13.2% of Waskita's 20% ownership in the Semarang-Batang segment, which is equivalent to 1 trillion rupiah, and all Waskita's ownership in Cinere-Serpong, or 34.99% of 550 billion rupiah. Then a cash transaction worth 515 billion will be paid by Sarana Multi Infrastructure for the takeover of 6.8% ownership of Waskita in the Semarang-Batang section. For information, Waskita is targeting the release of 9 toll roads in 2021, either through INA or through divestment to other investors. The total divestment value is estimated at 10 to 11 trillion rupiah. With the divestment, Waskita is also projected to increase its funding capacity through debt deconsolidation of around 20 trillion rupiah. IDX Channel team reported.
And moving on to energy sector, the Ministry of Energy and Mineral Resources has increased the quota for national coal production. However, coal producer company Bumi Resources still keeps up with original target.
The Ministry of Energy and Mineral Resources on April 6, 2021 issued Ministerial Decree number 66/2021 concerning fulfillment of the needs domestic coal in 2021. By the decree, the government has increased the quota for national coal production. The national coal production quota will increase from previously 550 million tons to 625 million tons. The additions of 75 million tons of coal will be allocated to export. On the other hand, coal producer company Bumi Resources doesn't change any of its production target. The Director and Corporate Secretary, Sri Vastava, said that the company keeps maintaining its initial target. Bumi Resources is targeting coal productions of 85 million tons to 90 million tons in 2021. The number has already increased by 9% from 2020 target, which was 82 million tons. From all sources, IDX Channel.
And step aside from market condition as coronavirus pandemic takes big role on current economic situation. And here it is an update data about coronavirus globally. And the news close our market headlines today. Please enjoy our next program on IDX Channel, your trustworthy economic, business, and capital market channel. I'm Wicky Adrian. Have a nice evening and stay safe.
Ingin menjalani kehidupan yang mapan dan masa depan yang sejahtera? Sikapi uang dengan bijak. Mulailah berinvestasi di pasar modal. Dengan membeli saham melalui Bursa Efek maupun perusahaan sekuritas, Anda dapat menikmati hasil keuntungan dari perusahaan-perusahaan besar yang tersedia. Pastikan Anda berinvestasi di perusahaan yang memiliki izin resmi. Cerdas mengelola, masa depan sejahtera. Otoritas Jasa Keuangan, lembaga pengawas industri jasa keuangan yang terpercaya.
Untuk informasi lebih lanjut tentang pasar modal syariah, silakan menghubungi nomor telepon 1500655 atau melalui email di konsumen@ojk.go.id.
Tunggu apa lagi?
Ayo berinvestasi di pasar modal syariah.
Berinvestasi yang amanah.